Well, I guess I'm stupid. Oh, Elefanto! Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Episode 11, Tokyo Number 1 Colony, Part 5. And last episode, it was all about Megumi and him facing Reggie and his cohorts. And then you have Takaba show up and joining up with him and him going off to fight whatever his name was, Hazenoki. Yeah, Hazenoki, and then he did 1,000 years of death. Oh my goodness. And then now it was up to Megumi facing Reggie, and then he led him to this looks like a gymnasium of some kind. And then he just activated his domain expansion. And that's why it ended. So before we get into this episode, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/feelimini. And now let's start this episode. And here we go.
Okay, guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comments in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
Your Tenkai, Chimera Shadow Garden. Esoteric? Polo whisker basket? What the heck? Oh. Damn. Damn! Oh, it didn't work. I'm not following what you're saying. I'm torn between watching the action happen and what's. Yeah. Reggie stars. Are you done? Okay. Demo. Ah, so he can have many things. Oh, that's why the cars are going. Oh my goodness. What are you gonna do? Well, I guess I'm stupid. Oh! Elefanto! But did he already find a way to counter it? Okay, not yet. Hurry me, hurry me. Love me. Kill me. Well, at least allow me to enjoy the domain expansion, the fight, before you start trying to explain things to me. Like, I was not following what she was saying, and then like I was trying to read what she's saying, and then I was trying to focus on what Megumi was doing on the screen, but it's like I couldn't keep my eyes on both of them, and then it's like I missed out on both of them. I just knew that Megumi was doing amazing things, and Reggie was getting hit and all of that, but I was missing like trying to figure out what is what's her name again? Tengen. Like couldn't really
一般的
focus.
に藤井の負荷がかかっている。高い G により血液が下肢に集中し、伏黒は姿勢を低くし、下半身を重点的に受け止めたレジスターの右腓骨と小骨には血が入っている。殺されていてもおかしくない状況にある。
I know Megumi's not gonna be dimes.
とっておきは無事だ。一度影の中に入って内側からとっておきを再現。今度こそ奴を潰す。奴が死んだ後、影の中に一生閉じ込められたら、そもそも影の中はどうなっている？影に潜るのはリスクが高すぎる。このままこの状態で
And then the sound is like increasing in.
再結晶。
What got snapped? What got snapped? What's happening? Is he in the shadow?
間に合わなかった。浮力も効力もない。
Is it like he's falling? Yeah, indefinitely? For infinity?
まだだ、まだ耐えろ。あいつが確実に死んでから領域を解く。そうすれば影の中身を排出できる。
Can you endure it that long? What are those like? Oh, the car. Oh, is he? Oh, freaking the frack! He's not dead.
沈めた車には命令を与えていない。つまり命令する余地が残っていたんだ。俺を連れて上がってこいと。
What are you gonna do?
認めるよ。お前は強い。再結晶。
The trump card.
建築面積40坪。
Bruh, you cannot sustain this weight. Are you gonna have to dismiss your domain? Or are you gonna perfect it under the weight of all of this?
何が起こった？俺はまた影の中に落ちたのか？
Oh, you never left?
本物の水。
Okay.
まずい。今度こそ落ちる。再結晶を解除しなければ。
What is happening? Why? What?
影に逃げ込んでから領域を解き、俺に床を破壊させ、プールに落としたのか。すぐに追撃せず間を置いてきた。領域で疲弊した術式を回復させたな。君こそもう式神何も出せないんじゃない？そうだな。分かってんだろ。もうこっからは。
Hand on hand, like fight.
その瞬間、緩んだお前をカウンターで仕留める。
Like a hand to hand combat? Or what? Mm-hmm. Oh, what was that? What was that? Like I saw something sort of like fly or something. I don't know. Oh, it was Demon Dog? So he acted like Demon Dog was out, but it wasn't really out. And that's what killed him.
領域プール。犬のカードはなくしたと思わせて伏せておく。現代の術師、しかもこんなガキに出し抜かれるとはね。天元様とはどういう関係だ？ほら生きてるか。あの引きこもり。そうか。もういい。
That's shouting. So Tengen was a shouting?
天元様が賢弱と裏でつながっていて、嘘の目的を俺たちに流した可能性も考慮すべきだな。小金、こいつに 俺の点を全部やれ。
Oh,
どう
why?
いうつもりだ。随分な物言いだな。今はの際の善行だぜ。こうした方が面白くなる予感。ただの勘だ。お前は運命に翻弄され、道化となって。
The fate toy with you a big and die fool? What does he mean by that? I'm guessing when the music ended, that meant Reggie died. Uh-huh. Takaba! Oh, he's still fighting that Hazenoki?
油断するな。奴はしぶとい。
How did you change outfit in like a second?
何度も爆撃した。5回は殺せてる手応えだ。
But he's never.
その程度で済んでる。
What is his technique? Is he leaving Takaba behind?
出られるか。そうか。風呂入れよ。歯磨けよ。
Are you letting him leave?
ガチポイントちょうだい。ついてくんな。
高場の術式コメディアンは、
Uh-huh.
高場が受けると確信したイメージを実現させる。
Ah,
五条悟にも対抗でき。
what?
高場は自身の術式のことを何も知らない。
Where you going?
わかんないわかんない。
To Reggie?
大人になるとわかんないことがいっぱい。
Bro, we should know where Reggie is.
子は狼って聞いたことあるけど、わかんないをなんとかしてくれるのはいつも狼さん。レミは何にも考えなくていいの。これってレミが可愛いからだよね。
Because I'm so cute? You're not that cute. Is Megumi after her?
ダメだよ、めぐみ。
You heard his sister's voice.
クソ姉貴。
Angel? Oh! We found Angel! Oh, Angel found him. Oh my goodness.
破裂を極めた。ドルーブラクダワラ所持ポイント91点。リリュウ所持ポイント77。
How old are you?
プレイヤー
And the hair.
ウロタカコ所持ポイント70点。空を操る術式を持つ。
Manipulate the sky?
賢弱が呪霊操術のコントロールから外したゴキブリ呪霊。購入条件の消失まで休眠中。
Hey.
その一角が落ちる。 五条悟に次ぐ現代の異能。
I was not expecting him this episode. Oh my goodness. I always have to pause this song because I feel like it makes me feel sad. So I always pause it and I never listen past a couple of seconds. What the heck? What the heck? Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Like I was saying, I was confused between what was happening with Megumi's domain expansion and what Tengen was saying, you know, as the Megumi was fighting Reggie and just like beating him up. And you see Reggie being bloodied and everything. So it's like I was confused. Where am I supposed to look? Look at the fight, look at what's happening, what he's doing to him, or look at what Tengen is saying. And it's like between my indecision and what was happening on screen. I missed a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of explanation, and I didn't fully get what that was happening. I know at some point she mentioned something about when Gojo was fighting somebody. Like she was making distinctions about simple domains and something or other. So I completely missed what she was saying. I completely missed it. It was only after Reggie sort of like took back control and he was saying that Megumi, basically his domain expansion is incomplete, right? I was hoping that he was going to be able to complete it somehow during his fight with Reggie, but that's not what happened. It's still incomplete, and it seems like in his domain he can use his Shikigamis, but their strength is more exponential. I guess it's not exponential, but it's way more than it would regularly be. So that's why his attacks on Reggie was hitting him so hard. And it's because it was so incomplete. That's what Tengen said. That because it was incomplete, that's why Reggie was not able to, was um he was stunned a little bit, and that's how Megumi was able to like give him all those hits, I guess, before he came back to his senses and realized what was happening. And then he's like, okay, everything that falls into the shadow, Megumi feels that the weight of that. So that's why he dropped those two cars into his shadow. And then it's like Megumi was feeling the weight and he was getting crushed. And he then at one point even Reggie was like, hopefully he doesn't summon his element, his elephant, you know. And he did exactly that. He summoned the elephant. He was dropping on Reggie, and it was like, who's gonna fall first, kind of thing. And Reggie was like thinking, okay, I still have my trump card. Should I do that or should I let myself fall into his shadow? But I don't know if I can breathe in his shadow. I don't know how it's gonna be. So it's too much of a risk. So let me use my trump card. And then he took out the paper and he said it, but you hear the crack. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? And what happened was that he didn't have time to do his thing to burn the paper after he said what he said, contractual something or other recreation. He didn't have time to say that and burn the paper. So he fell into the shadow and he couldn't breathe. He just kept falling. But then Megumi is like, okay, let me give myself some time, make sure that he's dead before I release my domain. And I believe he said that once he releases his domain, that whatever it is that fell into the shadow was gonna come back out. So knowing that Reggie was gonna come back out after he releases his domain, he's like, let me just hold it for some time, make sure he's dead before I release it. But he didn't die. He came back out because he gave a command to one of the trucks. Apparently, um, he didn't give. Usually, once he gives something a command, that things disappears after some times or something or other. But he didn't give any command to the cars or the truck or something, and that's why he was able to give it a command to bring him back up, and it brought him back up. That's how he was able to get out of the shadow. And when he did that, then he did his trump card, I guess, and they was gonna drop this giant house or something onto uh or into Megumi's shadow, which was gonna that was gonna crush him, definitely crush him. But then you see that happen. Then the next second, you have Reggie falling into some kind of water, and him being like dragged down, and I'm like, what the heck is happening? And it seems like what had happened was that, unless I misunderstood, um, Megumi released his domain expansion, got out of the way of the building or the car, whatever, and then the thing fell through because the what's it called in English? Piscine. The pool. The pool was under the gymnasium or something or other. So when the house or whatever fell through the floor, it fell into the pool, and it sort of like crushed Reggie inside of the pool and whatever. That's why he was in water. I'm guessing. But either way, he got out, and now it was like, okay, you can't use your. You're too tired to use your shikigami. My things are wet, so I can't use my contractual whatever technique. So it's like came to a hand-to-hand combat, and they were fighting and fighting and fighting, and then something happened. I saw some kind of shadow, and I'm like, what happened? And then you see the out of Reggie, and then he's like demon dogs on something or other, and basically demon dog was still okay. He made it seem like after he got something had happened to demon dog, and it was like he was taken out. That's what we thought. That's what Reggie thought, but that was not the case. He was still in play, but Megumi didn't reveal that until that particular moment, and then he used Demon Dog to like kill Reggie. But before he died, Reggie gave him his points, and he's like, "Why are you doing this? What are you up to?" And this is my good deed before I die. And then he said something about fate, and I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" And before he died, Megumi asked him, "What's the relationship between you or Tengen, or did you know Tengen?" And then he's like, "Oh, that recluse? No, I don't think the word he used was recluse. He used some kind of word." And when he said that, Megumi was thinking, okay, when Reggie told me about how Kenjaku's plan was not what it seemed, and that when he heard that, Megumi was thinking, okay, maybe Tengen was also lying to them, and there's some kind of link between Tengen and Kenjaku, and she is also hiding something from them or something or other. But then he's like, after what Reggie said, Reggie Star. I don't know if I known that his last name was Star, but either way, after what Reggie told him that that's not the case or something or other like that. I don't know, but as I sort of like I don't really talk about those kind of things, but I sort of like the sound design of what was happening when Reggie and Megumi were being crushed, and then the sound kept getting more like there was some kind of crescendo happening as time was going on, and then you're like, okay, who's gonna fall first between them two? And then the sound kept going like kept increasing in intensity or something or other like that, and then a dead silence, and then you see the Reggie fall through the shadow and whatnot, and then when he came to after Demon Dog did his thing to Reggie and he was lying on the floor with the blood like flowing out of him, and then you started hearing this piano music playing, and then he was playing and playing, and while they were talking, and Reggie kept slipping away, and then the music also kept slowing down and slowing down and slowing down, and then stopped when Reggie died. I kind of like that. So yeah, Reggie's dead, and after that, you see the girl. What was her name? I didn't write it down. Okay, you see her running. Oh, Remi. I think that's her name. You see Remi running, and then she's talking about how she's cute and uh, men are wolves, and but then it was those men that would explain things to her, or that would deal with confusing things, so she didn't have to do all of that because she was cute. And I'm like, okay, you're not that cute. And then you see her running, and I'm like, okay, where is she running to? At first, I thought she was going to Reggie because she couldn't believe that Reggie was dead. And I'm like, how would she even know that Reggie was dead? But then you see Megumi after her, and then you see Demon Dog in front of her, and I'm like, okay, is he about to kill her? But then he heard his sister's voice in his head telling him to stop, and he stopped. And Remi's like, oh, you letting me go? And then he just walked away and he's like, "Shut up, sister," or something or other. And then he fell on the floor and he was bleeding out. And then I saw the feathers and I'm like, wait, is that Angel? Because we've been after Angel too. We've been looking for her because I believe she is the one that could find a way to get Gojo out of the prison realm. So when I saw the feathers, before they even showed her, I'm like, wait, is that Angel? And yeah, it was definitely her. And she was like floating above Megumi, and yeah, I guess we'll see where that goes. And then that's when Tengen started talking about this other colony where she was studying all these different people that were basically sort of like at a standstill, telling us their points up to this point, and that oh, excuse me, there was this yeah, this standstill, I guess, between all of them, but then that balance sort of like broke, and then you see who broke it, and it was Yuji. Oh my goodness, not Yuji, Yuta. Yuta that broke it, and then she talked about how his strength was sort of like comparable, whatever, to Gojo. And I'm like, oh yeah, then there was Takaba too. They showed him this episode. Him and Hazenoki were still fighting. I was assuming last episode that Takaba was gonna be able to was gonna kill Hazenoki, right? But their fight didn't end. Well, at least it didn't end this episode because he kept doing things to Takaba, but it seems like it was not really affecting Takaba. And Kogane showed up and told him that Reggie was dead. And when he heard that, he's like, okay, you know what? I'm leaving. I don't care about this anymore. And Takaba was like, oh, you're leaving? Oh, okay, good. But then he remembered what Megumi said. And he's like, oh, can you give me your points? And he's like, oh, die. Then you have Tengen saying something about Takaba's technique called the comedian, and that everything that he thinks is funny is gonna come true. And she even said that that power, that technique will be something that can give Gojo trouble. And I'm like, okay, okay. Because it seems like Gojo is the pinnacle of strength, I guess, in this show. And then when you hear someone that could possibly give him trouble, it's like, whoop, like, whoop. Because you have Yuta there, and then you have Takaba here. It's like, you know, but it seems like Takaba is a good person, and Gojo's currently sealed. There's not gonna be any kind of problems, I guess. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen between Angel and Megumi. Like, what kind of person she is. Is she someone that would wanna help free Gojo or not? I miss Gojo, so it'd be nice to see him. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, the link is gonna be in the pinned comment, so you can just click on it, and you can watch it right now, and you can also catch up to all my previous Jujutsu Kaisen reactions. There's a playlist in the comment as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. This is what you asked for, heavy is the cloud, fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down, start a whole video.